It was a bold move, Kai, not gonna lie, as 100 Thieves took us to Pearl, but unfortunately for them, they will lose that first map against Furia, going down 1-0 in the series as we get ready for map number 2. I'm Golden Boy here, of course, joined by Sideshow and someone covering for all the hair for all of us. It's Benita here. And I think, like, you know, let's just dive right into the breakdowns real fast here and talk about some of the top performers, because I think coming out of that, again, all eyes on Digizin, all eyes on Cryo, the Jets, Josh, performing what you would want them to do. It's just unfortunate for Cryo that he has to hold an L here.
It's kind of wild, actually. Cryo has been so much better since week 4, and yet 100 Thieves haven't been able to translate that into wins. You don't really expect them to be able to do it here because Pearl was their permaban, and to me, Benita, they kind of look like a team that had something going for them, but just not enough experience on the map.
Yeah, I mean, they did look a little lackluster, but honestly, all props to
Digizin, yeah.
You're tight like that?
Yeah. I think you want a duelist like this on every team, you want your duelist to be like this.
Yeah.
Fearless.
Yeah.
This is also just disgusting. The fact that they win 6 out of 13 of their 4v5 situations. Now, there's a couple of things there. One, I mean, just watch the majesty of how these rounds end up playing out as the teams, as Furia just take control of the rounds. But also, think about this. They ended up having more first deaths than they did first kills, right? So, because there's 13 to start with.
Yeah.
And they're winning 46% of those situations. They're already, on average, winning just over a third of those spots. That's already amazing. That is like top tier, S tier performance. You're amazing if you can win over a third of your player disadvantage situations.
Yeah,
and they're winning nearly half.
And that is absurd when you really think about why they're in these situations, because we were seeing it happen throughout the game, Benita, where they started to be a little bit more aggressive, and then 100 Thieves were answering that back and be like, oh, you want to be aggressive? We'll punish you. But even when you punish them, they still find a way to win. That has to be frustrating to play against.
Yeah, I think that one of the key rounds was in the 3v4 in the retake at B.
Yeah.
100 Thieves decided to give it up, which I think is okay. It's okay to give it up. You're up a man advantage, and they were able to just scrap up the post plan, win the round.
Yeah, it's nutty how this team, even when they're a man down, can still find a way to pull off the wins here. But before map 2, though, let's go ahead and head into our, as usual, Aim Lab shoot around. This week, we're checking in on the homie Derek, and it will give us an opportunity to talk more about 100 Thieves as we get ready for map 2. Because now we're going to go to Fracture, and you know, could this be the bounce back, Josh, the 100 Thieves are looking for here? And could players like Derek be potentially the catalyst for that?
Well, to start with, you look at the side of Furia, they've been poor on this map. But their most recent loss was a 9-13 against Cloud9, who are fantastic. I mean, you ranked them 3rd in Benita's trademark power rankings, but they are really good on that map. And they run a weird comp where Digizin goes over to the Raze, and then they were playing the Fade and the Omen, kind of like a Na'Vi style comp. And on the other side of things, 100 Thieves have been running the Jet, they've been running Sky Breach. They got clowned on in the NRG game in a mirror match. And I think the way that 100 Thieves have played that in general has been very formulaic. You know, Derek's there on the bridge. He's flashing players in, playing really aggressive. They love playing aggressive on the defensive side. I feel like they need a refresher to make sure this goes to a map 3.
Yeah, I mean, I think Furia not experiencing a win on Fracture yet it's just going to benefit them.
Yeah.
And I think they've learned probably a lot from their 0-2, and they could pull off a win here.
Yeah, because you also have to be doing, like, you know, simulating what the draft is going to potentially be here. And there is a world where they thought that Fracture might come into play here.
Oh, definitely.
I can't see, you know, Carlisle and the rest of the crew just being like, you know, I don't think we're going to get Fracture.
No. I think Fracture is absolutely the most anticipated pick, and it looks like they're heading potentially in a different direction already. Now, Furia have run different comps in the past. They had Digizin playing Neon at one point,
yes,
too.
I want that.
Really, it's wide open. Whatever they want to go.
We get it!
Okay, and they're going back
Let's
to the
go!
Interestingly, the Cypher is going to help them out a lot, I think, with the way that 100 Thieves play aggressive on defense. You got the cam, you got the trip, you don't have to be playing in close range. You can avoid getting crunched on and still be providing information for Digizin to react aggressively on other parts of the map. I mean, this comp looks like they're ready.
Yeah, it's so difficult to stop Neon, who's just in flow state, so.
Yeah. What is it about Neon in particular, Benita, that makes it challenging to stop? Yeah.
The pace of Neon, sometimes you just feel so you know, like confined and can't
Suffocated,
find
if
the,
you
yeah,
will.
suffocated is the right word. You can't find the solution.
And to be clear, right, they weren't great at it last time they played. So the Neon comp, while it's exciting and it's interesting and it looks like they've got a read on what 100 Thieves are going to do, their execution was not up to scratch last time they pulled out a comp that was similar to this. So that's what I'm looking for. Yeah, it's all good to have the theory there, but does it come into practice?
All right, well, you heard from the analysts. Now it's time to get ready for the game. Digizen's looking to go fast, and 100 Thieves is looking to send this one to a map number 3. Let's send it back to the Premier's deadliest duo. It's, of course, Doug and Ballo.
Thank you so much, Golden Boy. Yeah, one map down. It was a close one. Pro goes 13-10 in favor of Furia, but now we get back to Fracture, and now we get back towards Neon's conniving ways.
And I think the discussion that we're having about switching up the comp for Furia is very interesting too, but you're looking at 100 Thieves that have had some success on Fracture, but not the most. They're sticking with the same ideas, and Furia kind of flip-flopping. And I think something that Josh mentioned on Pearl was that 100 Thieves might have had to double prep, right? They might have had to prep for the Neon comp that they had on Pearl and also the Jet comp. And here it's the same thing, but Furia is opting to go back towards it. So if 100 Thieves prepped for the wrong ideas here, it might end up costing them. Furia kind of playing the mind games inside of this Fracture picks.
100 Thieves on the attacking side, and it's going to be an instant clash against that Neon that we've been talking about. Dish, the only thing separating these two squads, and DG's already gotten one. Gets away with murder, too.
I can't believe he traded the stuns there and is able to get out. By the way, Austin just used his Trailblazer all the way into Halls through Sands and didn't catch anything. So that actually might end up giving them information here that they want to go back up in towards A, given that Sands might be cleared. But look, they're actually going for a re-clear.
Yep, Sands got filled in instantly. DG's there, Mazine's close by.
There could be a really fast flank here on A main.
That flash intended to make Mazine turn away for just a moment. Hey, he was lost. He was confused.
Spike
Cleared everything out. Now turning their attention back towards A, where you see some of the utilities there to set him up once again. And it's a 1-for-1. 3v3 left here on the round. Spike ticking away. Mazine trying to deal some damage, and he cannot. As 100 Thieves try to force their way through. And they do. A 4K for Bang.
Every single pistol so far gone to 100 Thieves. So both on Pro, they still lose that map. And now here, on the attack side again, see if they go for those 4 rifles that we saw on Pearl. I don't think they even have really the money for it, given that only 2 people got kills that round, Bang and Stellar. I like the idea here from Furia to go re-clear in Hall super fast. But like you said, there's a lot of time spent there for Digizen after you open that door to go back and re-clear outside of A main. Right there. Before then going to fight. And that gave time for that stun to come back up for Derek.
Camera taken out.
They're patient on this one. Stellar on the northern side of the map with the turret to help, making sure there's no aggression coming towards them. While the rest of the team is spread out, trying to clear things out. You just saw the Trailblazer spin all the way into Halls towards MW.
Is that faucet going off? I got scared there for a second.
It sounds like that was enough to pull their attention towards B. That was QCK on an island as well.
I think he's trying to show himself a lot there to force them back, but instead, 100 Thieves uses it as an opportunity to take that site. Says it's only the Cypher. He's probably going to be the one alone.
Yeah.
If there is a stack going on. And at this point, with 3 players coming through spawn, that is probably the least scary situation, especially given 100 Thieves just fell right back, and they've got a Molly lineup for Bang, and they're playing Tree real far back.
They also have the alarm bot that was dropped by Stellar to make sure no one pushes in from the northern side. Yeah, this round is wraps.
Furia actually playing so far back because a lot of times when you're 100 or when you're the attack side, you win the pistol. You can use this as an eco farming opportunity to get orbs up on a specific player like Stellar, who's 3 orbs up already, and Bang, who's 1 off his ult, and he's gonna get it because Digizen dives in from arcade side, kind of nullifying the work that all the players from his team were doing in spawn.
Bang with plenty of reason to smile there, because as you were saying, he now has that orbital strike online.
See how he chooses to use it. you're gonna want to use it here on this bonus for sure. And I'd even recommend reinvesting if you did lose anybody, which they didn't. I'd recommend upgrading some rifles here because you have a major chance at converting this bonus. I haven't seen that so far in this series, but everybody knows how much of a big difference that can make.
Similar setup from what we saw previously, but it's a bit pacier this time.
He dashed at him and gets the kill with it too.
That's a good sign. It's a very good sign of Cryo's making plays like that, trying to be aggressive and decisive in his movements.
And now they have the option, even if they do take this site, to end up playing for that ult. They won't get it just yet though, despite the 2 kills. And I'm worried here. Mazin is coming on the flank. You have a lot of space actually known on this A side because of the camera from QCK. Right now, he's thinking if the one player on this A side can force them to rotate back towards B, I can get a crazy angle. He's gonna give up the flank, and Khalil's in trouble.
And once again, overwhelmed. We saw it in the first round, or as QCK that was just overwhelmed. It's time for Khalil. This is.
They say they have to save.
Yeah.
All right.
This is an excellent start for 100 Thieves. I think that the silver lining, or the icing on the cake, if you will, on an already sweet situation, is that you've managed to keep the orbital strike.
Yeah, I would have liked to see a bigger attempt there from Furia to try to prevent that from going into chaos. But I think they were already deciding if Khalil can't hold that site or he can't get 2 kills or anything like that, then we're gonna save. Because I could see in the way that Mazin was playing on B tree there. He just walked up into the corner and was just playing as if he was waiting for them to fall back into him or walk back into him. Bang, we'll get out here, don't worry. I see. When he missed that jump, everybody in the crowd was like, oh no!
I evaluated their strategy.
And bonus converted, 3 in a row. Honestly, might be one of the biggest streaks from 100 Thieves so far. Or matching on Pearl.
I mean, a bonus converted, and I think the crazier thing too is it wasn't just that they won the round, but they did so with losing very little.
Yeah.
They still have a Spectre.
I'm interested to see that battle for Digizin, who, by the way, gets one of those Phantoms
Gotta go.
that were saved. So they shift the Phantom to him, and they go really aggressive here in tree. Bank set up for a Molly on tower to keep this arcade pressure coming in, and they have set up Digizin. But the Molly missed, and they just sneak right back in. Not a big factor. Stellar still gets the kill.
Yeah, that's Spectre working out. You heard Orbital Strike used too. Some interesting options was how they're set up here. DG still not relenting on giving up the space on the site. Finally forced off the angle right into Cryo's crosshair. And it's another situation where we're gonna have to wait a long time until the end of the round.
We got a lot of these early in the season.
Yeah.
And as the season's progressed, as more pressure has come on, people have been going for situations. But yeah, no, I mean, QCK just in his camera. I don't think he's moved. Let's see if we can communicate. Have you moved this round? He's thinking about it. Yes, he moved. He said he moved.
I mean, the finances for 100 Thieves are outrageous. And you see it on your screen. Cryo still has the least amount of money, and he's at 2,300 credits.
Not thinking too much about that round, given the situation for Fury. Only 2 rifles. And they go for that B control that didn't net them anything. I think about what makes them make a play like that, and I think you just throw it in every once in a while. Or you see something, and I don't think there's been anything seen. What I do see from 100 Thieves, though, is a little bit more on this attack side so far. That Molly from the south side, behind that smoke, you're so far back in the tree area, in the B main area, that the arcade players are taking all the contact. Forcing the players in towers to be stuck in tower. Or the flip side, not allowing anybody to be in tower, so you get that for free if you go up that rope. So that execute really nice. I would like to see it again from 100 Thieves.
Man, 100 Thieves fans rolling deep today. I want some chaos too. That's a really nice sign. Very well done. Just a couple seconds now, and again, if you think back to the end of the previous round, there was a lot of time for Furia to deliberate over what they've got. So there's the extended time at the end of the round, the timeout call too. This feels like a really big round in a lot of ways.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Furia right now. Full buy back up. Still a couple players on light armor. They're not a team that has been really going for light armor strat. I mentioned that pretty much every time we see them play. 100 Thieves as well. I mean, they've got bank for days. Just a flash tree, checking if they're going to be aggroing. Mazin's got his fault line just out for nobody to peek there. And they're really trying to bait out a peek here in Arcade. Camera broken, QCK for the first time. It feels like he's actually going to have to do something.
He gets to play the game.
And they're re-clearing in halls. They're going to play behind this alarm bot. Stellar knows that there can be somebody there. And Austin is coming back right now. He could Trailblazer this. Or flash. And they're really committed to this Hall's pressure, so if 100 Thieves sees that there's two there, they're gonna pounce on drop.
There's a Trailblazer, and both are spotted. They invest a lot too to try to keep him back, the seize and the stun.
Smoke keeps them back off of drop though. Surprised they didn't just react into this site. That might cost them, but still the players from Furia staying in this.
DG avoided that fault line. He avoided the fault line. Deals a ton of damage onto Bang, and he drops Cryo. What?
What?
Well responded though. The ult popped and then instantly dropped. Numbers in favor of 100 Thieves. They're going to heal him up. They're going to have site control. They're going to get the spike down too.
Spike planted. Right here.
Every round, 100 Thieves is coming out with the advantage. Every round. They get in these situations. Finally, Furia has the men to actually challenge. And that has just fallen out by the wayside instantly.
I mean, Mazin still has an alarm bot he has to get by if he wants to continue this.
Every single player coming from a different spot there. There's almost no play with each other outside of those first two initial kills.
It's another save.
Finally regrouping. Biggest streak so far for 100 Thieves in the series. This one, probably the most dominant of the streaks. On Pearl, a lot of times, some of those rounds that Furia put together where 100 Thieves making mistakes or making a late round decision that really costed them. Here, it feels like it's just the strats from 100 Thieves are causing Furia to fall apart. Every decision is good, and they're making it look incredibly clean.
One down.
5-round lead for them. Stellar close by to having his ult in Cryo as well, but given the finances that they have, I can't imagine that's used anytime soon.
And they're forcing down almost every round here because of the saves. So they're really not able to get back into the economic shade ever.
Stellar switched back to playing the northern side of the map with the turret.
I mean, how is Cryo getting so much space alone in halls?
Just contact the whole way. Sliving his way past the defenses. The Prowler's not going to catch because he's ahead of it at this point. He even tries to peek while the door's open. So well played.
There's an early kill.
Remember, DG had an opener in the previous round too.
Only the second first kill for Furia.
Meanwhile, QCK getting all sorts of pressure. There's nothing coming in from the northern side, so he can focus his attention all in one way. Once again, sidestepping the fall line, and once again, value.
First 4v3 situation here for Furia. First real attempt
Planted. Right
at a
here.
round win outside that pistol. Great stun, double stun.
The shorty. I mean, I guess it's pretty free when you have a Neon dashing into your crosshair like that. Wanting to get as close as she can. Are you gonna get another with the shorty? Spotted.
Oh, I'm out of there.
Yep, I'd be too. A reposition. Asuna cannot find any more.
I think there's a molly falling here soon from Bang. Actually, it's on there right now.
Force hiding goes on top! Cryo looking to make a play, but it's all gonna be on a Bang. 20 HP. It's halved. Oh, he didn't get it to half.
It's over.
He's gonna have to start all the way back. And Bang gets the kill.
Ay, ay, ay. That reaction for the most part was on 100 Thieves decisions in the last map, but here Furia making me question some of these plays. And the thing is, in that situation, I think QCK, oh my goodness, that was a flick too. Most situations, QCK, there's two people diving through your cage, you're getting both of them. I mean, that's such an odd play overall. They try to come out split, but the timing's off, so he should still get both of them. Fury is not hitting the way they were. And that speaks to their record on this map. Clearly not comfortable.
Yeah, it's really not a great map for either if you think about their stats throughout the entire split, but man, are 100 Thieves making this look good. Up 6-0, Furia's economy finally broken. That orbital strike isn't gonna feel good either. Dude, they're having their way with Furia's defenses right now.
Yeah, every single round that they're winning, it's just... Sometimes I'm just thinking this is a joke. Like, Furious. Furious not even putting any defense up. And I don't even think this is like a defense versus attack side or anything like that. There's not really any cope you can bring out there.
Surely there's a timeout
This place is
close
nice,
by.
but
We
I
already
think
have
it's
already used one though. Yeah,
Let's
you're
really
right.
get out of here.
This might be one of those situations that you have to start talking to your team here. If you're Carlisle, it feels like he's made a difference in some of the form of these players, but there it is.
There's the second.
It's only been 2 weeks since his return. This is his third appearance on stage with his team. So this is the first time he really has to deal with a stomp like this to start off.
And it's not just the stomp. It's the crowd you have to deal with too.
I'm looking Digizin, his body language too on stage right now, rubbing his eyes. Not exactly happy with the situation, but also just listening intently. But his teammates and his coach has to stay. There's Carlisle. Already up a map, so they have a buffer. But you really cannot get stomped this hard. I think the best thing about this veto for them is that they've able to land on Haven. And they converted that Pearl pick, which I felt like was a little risky, given we hadn't seen 100 Thieves or anything like that. But we know that it was obviously a decision from 100 Thieves to go away from the Ascent, so they converted, and now they're in a situation where this series is still well within their hands, but right now they have to make sure that they don't get boomed mentally.
And that's hard to do when you're down 7-0 without any real way to stop the attack side of 100 Thieves. But they're going to try a little something different here. They've put DG up close by. They have two members just on the other side of the door as well. They've got to pounce for this. There's the fall line. No aggression either way. Now the Trailblazer intended to take some of that space. And once again, there's a trade back in utility.
None of that util from 100 Thieves when they're in, or sorry, from Fury, when they're in an aggressive stance where they want to go forward against them, was used to actually challenge anybody. It just delayed 100 Thieves from actually fighting them. So it's almost counterproductive because it keeps them back rather than traps them while they're forward.
I've got your trail.
Seeker's now used by Asuna. Banks stimming up the attack side, but it's a fake. It's a fake. The spike's nowhere near that. And that's going to draw it a lot. They've gotten the Nightfall out from MW. They have rotations coming all the way over to B.
Dude, how often is Cryo just dry walking into A? This time he calls Stellar over with him. And they're able to just walk in, fake that site, and get it for free.
This is taking a little while, though. They do have nanos and things like that to delay the orbital strike, too. And now the fake, what you've intended to do in getting some of that space is gone. Fury are already here.
It just feels like an exchange of utility on both sides. And finally, the first engagement goes in favor of Fury. QCK is going to run all the way around. I'm not sure if Bang heard him.
Cryo was right under Mazine. And he's just gonna fill in and take the space. Also jump spotting in a sense to find one. But Furia finally get on the board.
Finally. I was thinking that we might start having to talk the tune of a absolute
Gun
blowout. And it still is that case.
Weeds are difficult to kill.
Before that round, Bang had the same amount of kills as all of Furia, by the way.
Yikes, that's bad.
Finally, that will obviously be broken. But it's interesting, both teams are playing a game of footsie. Like with the util, you saw it in A main there, the stun, the breach stun, the neon stun, everything going in, and neither side really willing to go take that extra step to challenge. But finally, when 100 Thieves does get that site, they're able to delay. You said it took a long time. There's so many different looks on 100 Thieves in terms of the default. Now they're going for a 4 north side. With Stellar swapped back down to the south. Doesn't give them the option to go for that A Halls walk that Cryo's been doing so often.
My ult's not ready. Bring them down.
Prowler is gonna spot someone down in hell. Did he cloudburst? Yeah, so they should know who it is too. And the cutting of the noise introduces doubt into the minds of the defenses. And just like that, it opens up. MW falls. Once again, Stimmied. They've got the Rolling Thunder though, and that's real good, but Cryo's ahead of it. He's past it. Cryo and Stellar both have made their way onto the site, but Stellar's the first to fall.
So I had to move his head because of that flash.
DG's on the flank. DG's on the flank. He's behind him. And he's going to have 4 waiting. The timing is good for 1. It's good for 2. Now Austin is left by himself.
30 seconds left.
Numbers aren't great, but this is winnable. He's gotten into a 1v1. He's stunned, patient, waiting, daring to swing around. And the snap onto DG's a Red Bull clutch.
Asna, in some moments this season, he seems like a different player to his average. Some moments he just turns on. Or he instinctively is making the right play there, that shorty pull out. Then the patience as well to go for the swing. And you see the reaction from the Furious side there, not happy. They could have converted, but
arguably should have. Either way, they're down another.
it's free for him.
DG's going by himself. He did have the fault line out to help a little bit from Azine, but all the space that the utility was intended to create is already gone, but Cryo's ahead of it. Challenges anyway.
Dude got headshot by the overtime. I didn't know that could do. It's crazy.
He's looking for more too. Swings around into the face of 3 members from 100 Thieves.
That's such a cool little counter there. 100 Thieves just stack up all 3.
Smoke down.
Smoke on the turret, but it's just a stinger. So unlucky.
And it's just Khalil too. He doesn't have help.
Spike planted. Last player
And that's
standing.
Another round gonna go in favor of 100 Thieves. Barring some miracle out from Azine.
Huh?
I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know what that was. Yeah, no miracle this time around. Bang cleans it up. 100 Thieves get to 9. And you know what's funny, Ball? It was at 7-0 that Furia are on the board, and we go, okay, it's not going to be a blowout. It's not going to be 9-3, 10-2, or anything like that.
I was just saying it's not going to be a 13-0. That's what I was thinking.
Headshot.
This is what I was talking about. Just like all lined up there, and there's no way that Digizin's going to get 3 sprayed down when you need to have constant DPS from that overdrive. Derek, I'm going to say it. I think it's over.
Maybe don't. Maybe don't. Maybe don't. We're going to start a riot in the crowd. 100 Thieves quiet in this one. Very, very reminiscent on how Cryo has played his way towards halls. This time it's just contact. Finally, the Trailblazer used, and that's going to funnel QCK out. That one way, it's already cleared. That was the defense he had. That was what he could tuck behind. That was his safety.
The one-way was actually meant for him when he's up in tower. So he literally is getting anti-one-wayed by his own cage there. See, he's actually good. Yeah.
Stellar's in a lot of trouble. How does he still get one?
He got a kill?
3v3. It's still respectable, but the two members of Furia that I thought were going to be able to make a play instantly fall. All right, now I believe. Now I believe.
Now I can say it?
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to say it.
Now we can say it.
No, now it's disrespectful.
10-1 half for 100 Thieves.
And they planted it in every single round.
I mean, when you're executing at this level, even the fact that Stellar, the fact that he even gets one, bro.
Enemy remaining.
He's not only like getting Brim ulted, sees, doesn't hear anything, so he can't really aim based off of his sound. On top of that, the Brim ult is blocking his vision. I mean, we've already seen 100 Thieves just deal with this so easily. This exact play.
Well, that one is good.
Oh, because he's flashed, he doesn't have the time to actually go for those kills.
And even then, Derek playing in a position that he can't get spammed through comfortably, even with this position given away. 100 Thieves now trampling their way towards a Cypher utility that's set up, and towards Khalil, who's playing close by. Bursts a little patience out of Cryo. He finally takes the high ground, gets up into heaven, stares down into what's beneath them, and it's all 100 Thieves' bodies.
One enemy remaining.
Bang's gonna have to 1v5 to win this one out. And, yeah. Spamming from every single angle. Feeling pressure from every which way. And it's a flawless round for Fury to close out the half.
And they actually prevent the scoreline that 100 Thieves had to deal with against NRG way back. That was an 11-1. There's a little fake comeback in that game. We might see that here.
Possibly. We'll take a look at it one more time as QCK held the site masterfully. Not a 13-0, not a 13-1, maybe a 13-2, as Furia have gotten that far, but once again, a 10-2 half for 100 Thieves. Let's start down to Josh, who's standing by at the telestrator, break down a little something.
So I want to talk basically here about where it all started to go wrong for Furia. So I'm going to bring things back to the bonus round for 100 Thieves and then show you round 5 as well. And to start things out, I want to demonstrate here that even though we're in round 3, MW doesn't buy any Prowlers. I think that that's not acceptable when he has full armor in this situation. And Dijazine also doesn't have his wall, right? So you've got a big issue just to start things out. And if we play things forwards here, you'll see that what's happening is that Dijazine's looking to contest in this early angle down towards halls. And as he tries to fight this, he's pressured, he backs up, he looks to take this early fight, and MW's gonna come to help him. Now here, as you see Cryo controlling this position, Cryo is on this angle. He's dashed early, he's been able to establish this position, and he now controls that. This would be the perfect spot to use a wall to escape, or use a Prowler to get back in, or even to use a stun to get back onto the angle, and instead, they just go for the fight raw, straight up. Dijazine ends up dying, MW goes back to try and contest afterwards, and it's just raw fighting where they're running into the utility. It doesn't end up working out. And you move forwards into round 5. I mean, look at these positions here as well. Doubled up inside halls in this spot. This is not an area where you're going to be able to survive against the Sky and Breach utility. And move things forwards a little bit and skip ahead, you'll see it's the exact same kind of stuff that happens. It's Dijazine trying to fight here. He ends up getting put into an awful spot, still manages to find a kill somehow, but MW is miles away. I mean, if I go to the minimap at this point, you can see that MW just died in this spot as Dijazine is trying to take his own little fights. It just, their game plan here didn't make sense. The utility that they were using didn't make sense either, and 100 Thieves dismantled them. They're gonna need to pick it up for the next half, because what they showcased here was similar to 100 Thieves on Pearl. They had an idea the map was coming up, but they just didn't have the game plan to play it. We'll send things back to Doug and Bala.
Thank you, Josh. Yeah, I mean, just one of the very few things that led to 100 Thieves' absolute dominance in the first half.
I was looking at the last round and I was like, I feel like I haven't seen Dijazine use his wall at all. So it's nice to point it out there, because those are the type of little things that compound as time goes on, right? That could have been a bonus converted if they had a little bit more tools. those sorts of things. But yeah, no, I mean, you're looking at a 10-2 half that if you have the same ideas, I mean, the same prep gone into it, the same sort of crumbling, there's very, very little chance of bringing it back. There's also no 9-3 blessing, so.
I mean, you even see some of the way that they're playing this differently. Stellar's the only one playing on it. He's anchoring, but he's playing it from a position of safety.
Yeah, usually 100 Thieves goes for a fast sand recontrol behind the smoke while it's up. And then they're able to either challenge halls or go fast through the site to flood, but that's a mistake there from Stellar.
Knowing how aggressive DG is, just continues to go back to what works for him.
Okay, Cryo. I mean, he just went into halls, exactly what I was talking about. Now there's 2 players fighting from drop, but it is planted for them.
Derek and Bang both weak here. Derek's the first to fall. Bang gets it down to a 1v2.
Got a 4K in the last pistol.
54 HP. Time is short. MW.
That's in the smoke! That was almost a complete fumble. Imagine they didn't even really consider that it was in the smoke too. And they thought he was just off spike. That's the first pistol finally converted from Furia. And honestly, I think if it wasn't for Digizin getting 2 random shots with the frenzy there, after Cryo reclears halls, I don't think they're winning that. If that gets traded even 1-for-1, that's a completely different scenario.
Furia gets a 3, and they've invested into this. They have 3 Phantoms and a Bulldog, a Guardian too. Fully spending their way into this round. And once again, it's quiet and it's contacty. Hitting the door and not seeing much of a reaction from Asuna. He's tucked in with a shorty.
He's gotten pretty much one every time, and
felt like he got robbed one there. Either way, the shorty falls like nothing more than just a little damage on a DG, just a little chip of the HP.
if I'm 100 Thieves here, I'm thinking with the amount of rifles that we've seen and heard, I'm going for a couple kills. Because nobody's really close. I mean, Khalil has 3 orbs, but it's nothing even similar to what Bang had in that first half. I'm going to take a rifle down, force a rebuy. If I can get 2 kills, that's worth. But instead, they go for the classic meta right now, which is just to die to the spike without any orbs given over.
And just wait and die. Far less damaging.
I like the idea there. Stun them as they're trying to rotate out. Could end up costing somebody their life. Now, everybody type question mark.
They're not getting the message. Leave it to me. I'll rough them up.
Furia get up to 4. They keep, I mean, what, really all of their weapons? If I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, every single one.
Yeah, they didn't lose anything there.
That's 4 rifles and a Guardian.
Now this is the
Mini
pivotal,
rifle.
This is the pivotal point that we saw in the first half. Remember, 100 Thieves were in this position. They were able to bonus. They were able to roll their economy to up a 7-0 lead.
Yeah. Look at this though. Cryo's actually gone for a glass cannon. Saved enough there that he has the op with no armor. And this is where he really got going in that game where it felt like Cryo came alive against, I believe it was Crew, way back when.
The Prowler with a latch. They know someone's close. The Trailblazer traded, and my goodness, that was perfect.
How did they get that stun so perfect on the Digizin? He's dashing, moving super fast, and they're still able to target him with Derek's fault line. That's not easy. And Digizin thinks he's going to get 2 kills there because they're stunned up. But instead, destroyed, and they do counter with Bang, and now they don't have the staying power. This execute all of a sudden has some teeth.
It does. Asuna's alone on the site, and he falls.
Oh, they just got a kill through the smoke by Mazin. And a second.
They're finding all of them without really seeing anyone. And this has, again, the writings of a financial snowball.
Is that a 45? Yeah, but Digizin died early in that round. It's
was a
45.
You're right.
It's funny because I bet you those stats are just completely wiped out of the out of everything here. Okay, interesting part about this, QCQ dies, but they know where Cryo went. Okay, they're not looking for anything.
They're not gonna hunt him.
I mean, they think they're even trying for this. What? They're like set up for post blind still.
They're just real precautious here.
Yeah.
Real careful. Spike's gonna go off. Furia are gonna get to 5. It's now 3 rounds in a row. The only 3 that we've played this half. And the one difference here is that 100 Thieves is gonna keep a couple of weapons, namely that op for Cryo.
Why is that little bear sitting outside of the shade?
He's vibing.
He's in the desert.
Yeah, just want to get a little extra sun.
Oh, timeout. I like this call from 100 Thieves. This is their first timeout, and they have an opportunity right now because of that op to really do something special against Furia where they're not expecting it.
These situations are so tricky too because they can get out of hand very quickly, right? You're up 10-2 at half. All right, you lost the pistol.
Oh, the score
you
difference.
Lose the second, yeah.
Yeah.
You should lose the second, and all of a sudden you get bonus. And this is where you run the risk of things getting out of hand.
Oh, yeah.
It happened so quickly in VALORANT that I like the call from Mike's as well. Go ahead and call a timeout. Stabilize things as best as you can because of the op in the hands of Cryo, like you were saying.
And I mean, we have seen 100 Thieves specifically fall to some really major comebacks in the past. Not only last year, but even this year too. They're familiar with the little 9-3 curse here and there. Last year, there was a narrative about them, about closing out maps. I haven't really felt that this year, where also I haven't really felt that they've been in situations like that as often, obviously, given a somewhat slow start.
3-4 record for them, and 3 of the 4 losses are against the best that Americas has to offer. But either way, a 5-round lead. Op still in the hands of Cryo. Light armor this time, and they're pushing right into his op. You're absolutely right. DG has tucked quietly. It's gonna be first contact. Oh, I thought for a second, Bang was gonna block the sideline.
He did, and he still gets the kill anyways. That was definitely a little weird positioning.
Yeah, it was. Give Cryo a pixel.
Either way, yeah, I mean, right now, 4v5 again for Furia. This time, though, they really don't know what the situation is, and 100 Thieves is going to take some liberties, given the weapon disadvantage that they have.
Speaking of taking liberties, though, QCK is pushed through door, pushed through sand.
The crazy part is Bang already has a smoke on that position, so he gave it up and allowed QCK to do that.
Wise as to where they might be.
Where are these flashes?
Everywhere, and nobody can see anything. A little bit of spam early on is confirmed as Stellar falls.
Great play.
Pressure down in hell. This has another 4v5 written all over it. Ball and numbers back their way. They have slight control. They're going to get the spike down too.
Spike planted.
This is going to be really difficult to convert. I mean, it's just a Sheriff and a Stinger. That's big. But I don't think they're going to do anything off of that.
Yeah, they can't clear the back of A-Main there.
They just don't
They're
have
going
the
for
tools.
it. They're going for it.
Oh my goodness, that was gross.
He's got a hold here.
3v2, and that's just going to buy time. Garrett's got to get past it, and he cannot. That should be the cue for Cryo to just save the op.
They do get the ult out, but I also commend Khalil to use that there because of how 100 Thieves was approaching it was the perfect choice. Cryo was always trying to save his op there. He was allowing his 2 sheriffs to go forward, look if you can get anything, and maybe I'll join you. And because of that, that ult, he has no chance to join them. But they do get it out, and now there's a real, actual. Another force going to be able to come in here from 100 Thieves. And you're also seeing a situation where Furia is not really building the economy. So if you want to come back like that to happen, and by the way, we're within 4 now. You need to start building that bank. Thankfully, Khalil has been alive for quite some time. 6.9K for him, MW2, 5K. But everybody else struggling a little bit. Have to point out another 4v5 there.
It's so difficult to really gain traction as a Neon when you're playing around this area of the map, specifically against a breach. And you saw why in the opening moments of that round. You've got a fault line you have to deal with. You have an aftershock you have to deal with. The only way you can really go is forward, right into the teeth of the defense.
We will see the classic execute here, though, with the Fast lane coming up.
I'll find you.
The haunt as well. We saw this early in the season. Digizin is just sitting in his fast lane looking for a haunt kill. Instead, all of 100 Thieves is off the site, and look, the camera might actually spot them if he goes up and checks it. And 100 Thieves is actually starting to gamble towards A.
Stellar wise to the fact that there may be one remaining.
Going out.
Meanwhile, Mazine is going to be on this crazy flank. Cryo, Shorty. We haven't had a Shorty kill in a while. We were due for one.
Gun here.
Mazin, who was set up to help Digizin get some more value there, is so far away. Derek converts on the kill too. Spike not planted. And is there a flash? No, not for Mazin. They're stunned though. Kalo's gonna jump up and maybe get two.
Or just continue to hold the line. Yeah, he opts to go patient. And he is surrounded.
Headshot.
First one falls through, but with 10 seconds left and the spike out of reach, you imagine this round will go in favor of 100 Thieves. But not without losing a couple of guns first. They did manage to still keep the op, though.
That was such an interesting call from 100 Thieves there. When that fast lane went out from Digizin and he looked for those haunt kills, that looks like it's an execute on the B site. But the players from 100 Thieves who were pushing Arcade, by the way, they decide to continue to push and to go flank drop. That's such a good read from Stellar.
One enemy remaining.
Knowing that it's a possibility of Furia to rotate off and honestly look like the first evidence of them actually preparing for this Neon comp. Because you can't do that sort of pivot if you're playing just the Rays.
Want to go fast again. They use that haunt to try to set up DG so often. He did get tagged, but he takes the high ground. Wall's going to keep him back for now. The persistent prowler that it is as DG goes in and Bang's there to greet. Bang's there to wait. And Asuna gets two. Once again, just scraps left for Furia, just two.
Mazin consistently left in these situations too, because he's always setting up his teammates.
Last player standing.
Always trying to get a stun out, a flash out. His execute util so strong. We got within 4, and then all of a sudden, we're looking at match point for 100 Thieves. How quick it can turn.
Put them in the ground.
And turn right back.
And the crowd once again comes to life. Haven seeming inevitable at this moment. They have so many tools to work with too, man. The orbital strike, or excuse me, the seekers. They have the rolling thunder from Derek too. They've got a classic crunch setup.
Digizin's gonna use his overdrive at some point in this round. With just the sheriff, probably ended up dropping something. Reach ult though.
It's gonna hit a couple.
Is there follow-up ult? No, but they're pushing him into cryo. It's so good.
He didn't take any space too. He was perched up on high.
Oh, they're
And now he's going.
Somebody break that.
Yeah, somebody help him through.
One
Stellar
enemy
getting
remaining.
two. QCK once again out of the play.
Game, set, blouses.
Cage trigger.
Then Ops just waiting for him. He'd have to 1v3 to win this round, and with 9 bullets left, he got
Who forgets? I
What?
always play high stakes.
I've been trying so hard for so many massacres this game.
You got yours there. Not done yet. We'll play a little longer.
Spike down. Attacker spike.
That just felt like a formality, bro.
Yeah, it did. That pinch was so nice. I don't even know how cryo got set up early in tree there, because we were so focused on the A main push coming out. I mean, actually, we're gonna get a moment after that 1v3, a timeout called from 100 Thieves, actually. Mike not happy with how the strat was being called. At the beginning of this round, we went down to 12 seconds in freeze time, and he called it. Maybe the comms as well. Could have even been Stellar calling too, because people were not so clear on exactly what to do.
Yep.
That's usually what happens when it's those late round calls, or late freeze time calls, I should say.
See the head coach of 100 Thieves on your screen. Sitting patiently, trying to figure out how they want to close this map out. This also feels like another, it's kind of like the timeout situation conversation we were having previously, where it's like, you don't want this to snowball out of control. Make sure you have your plan. Make sure you get out of this and make sure you get towards Haven.
And Haven is actually a tough call here.
It's a good map for both.
It's a great map. Specifically for Furia, they won it against NRG in overtime last week. And 100 Thieves too, I mean, it's been pretty good. Took it over Leviathan in that upset win that they had earlier in the season. And there it is, Cryo again. Every time you see Digizin try to punish with the speed that he has, just feels like the Jet is better.
And they're going to try to flood their way out of this. Look at them. They have everyone stacked up off of the flash.
Oh, there's a Molly. They're seized in the Molly.
Stellar does not care. Stellar does not care. That's the map. 13-7 in favor of 100 Thieves. And we're going the distance.
It's so impressive how 100 Thieves, in so many situations, they could lose that first map. They could even look at situations that are super dire. And then they can come out, win map 2, and just look smiles all around.
They really do. It just feels like they really do take it a map at a time.
Yeah.
Right, which is just such a common phrase, really across all of sports, but you see it personified on their faces.
What sport has maps?
Right. Fair. Fair.
Well, I mean, Furia, especially that first half, that's not something that can happen. When this map is in their pool, this map is in their rotation, this is the third time they're playing it, and there's situations that just felt like they had no real answer. It feels like they didn't really have the prep against 100 Thieves when the 100 Thieves has played it so many times. So we're going to Haven as the last map.
Again, a map that is good for both. Haven on the other side of this break. We'll be right back.